Hey y'all, it's Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings. We're here to do a pick a card reading. This is business or pleasure. My phone's being wonky and I can't get it to go into landscape, so we'll just do it this way. These are the decks that we're using today, and this is going to be a reading that is looking, as the title says, a little bit into business, so like career and money, and then a sneak peek into love as well, and just a little balance, a little sampler of both. So here is 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then of course we have the oops, that's not supposed to be those are all the bright cards. And then we have the subconscious card right there as well from the bottom of the deck. So jumping into it, for those of you who picked number 1, option 1, we have a gratitude list, chocolate mud pie, wealth. Okay, all right, some money coming through with the pleasure. We have the 10 of Pentacles reversed, and we have the Ace of Swords. So right now, I can definitely see a big mixing of the business and pleasure, and I apologize for the glare right there, the lights above. I'm seeing interweaving. In the pleasure, you have money on the mind, you have wealth here that you're trying to accumulate. When it comes to the pleasure side, and then the business side, we see that going into relationships and family and connections here. I definitely see for some of you having some very tough family issues right now. You might feel like you're just getting to either the bottom of your resources with your family, or just even with getting support from your extended family, or you might just have some very head-to-head tough issues. For some of you, there could even be legal battles that are watching, and for some people it can just be a matter of, together as a team getting strained. But I definitely do see that for a good portion of people who are watching, you might feel at odds with your family. You might feel maybe you are being isolated from the family and not kind of welcomed in. Some of you even come from families that I'm seeing a few storylines here, so bear with me as it's a general reading and many people will tune in. I'll just read on what I pick up. For some of you, you actually come from a family that does have money, like that does have abundance and wealth, but they refuse to share it with you. So maybe you are, at the lower tier of the other side of the family, or you're the step kid, or kind of the outside person. So there's definitely some strange things going on with family dynamics. Now, for those of you who are more situated in your finance, you still might have tough decisions about what you should share with family members, or just those that are close to you that are like family. For some of you, you might feel very, your family might be the people in your office. Maybe those are the people you've known for decades and you're really close to, or your friends, but it's those people that you have that resonance with, where there's kind of an interlacing of finance. And so a reason some of you might not be dating, or just kind of going out and enjoying yourself so much, or really being so free in your intimate relationships, might be this big burden of like finances and how it's going to play out in the long run. A lot of people are knowing that you're capable of amassing a lot of wealth, but right now it is that very stuck in the mud kind of energy, and like feeling like you lost your game plan. It's like, that you have this huge part of you that should be easily, it's coming up on the pleasure side, that you should be easily able to manifest abundance and to really hold on to finance, but maybe for some reason in big lump sums it's just like draining and it's just disappearing. Now, here, communication is very important. Writing is very important for you if you chose number 1. We have this showing up in the Ace of Swords and the gratitude list, which is the advice here, it says counting blessings and really recentering yourself. Because right now, as it's not saying that you don't have reason to worry, but it's just at this point, they say if you worry, you suffer twice. And so for a lot of people who pick number 1, you do have, good juicy things in life. You definitely have the ability to become very secure financially, but whatever is going on right now, some of you that are choosing number 1 have really hit rock bottom right now, or just going through really, really tough to surmount obstacles. And so this is just a reminder, like, to continue to be grateful, not to shove it in your face like your problems are anything, but to remind you that you are deserving of pleasure in your life. Like, make those good things come to you, find your way around them. So don't give up on the pleasure, number 1, if you've been having tough aspect in the business and in the finance, which it seems like you do. Now, if you're wondering how to, for those of you, some people that did pick number 1 are having career changes at this point, or you're looking for a spinoff, definitely communications, writing, things that have to do with technology, spoken word kind of things, or messages, are all things. Think like the planet Mercury. Those are all things that could really jumpstart you. So even if that's not like your full spiel, that can be a way to kind of get your foot in the door. So whether it's needing to write a letter to propose to be someone's apprentice, whether it's for people who maybe you do a variety of music and you need to start your own songwriting at this time, and that's going to be a game changer for you, I can definitely see rewriting. And some of you will be rewriting contracts. You might have to have someone leave the home, or just really putting different boundaries with family or people that are close to you, or someone who has been handling your finance. But I definitely see you, this is wealth. This isn't just money. So if you pick number one, you do have the ability to amass wealth. And that's why the universe is like, get your mind right, right? With the Ace of Swords, like I said, that's like the planet Mercury. Get your mind right, because you are a big manifester. You are smart. You can, if you allow yourself to focus and not get overwhelmed, you can have a really sharp mind when it comes to business and finance. And you might be forgetting that right now due to all your worry and like anxiety and stress. So really refocus, get your lists going, write down what you want and what you don't want, refocus yourself, and you can really do some amazing things financially. And then I feel like you'll finally let yourself enjoy pleasure, because you're kind of blocking yourself right now because you have these like greater concerns. All right. Was a lot for that one. So, and tell me if you guys like this idea, how it resonates with you. And like and subscribe, please. For number two, let's see what we have. We have attracting, not chasing. Okay, okay. Easier said than done sometimes, huh? The Tower, especially when the Tower is around. Gee. The chocolate biscuit, or not the chocolate biscuit, but harmony. Harmony with the Tower, right? Don't we hope for that? We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so this one, you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, like the number two, because it's like, it seems like such mixed messages. It's like you're going through the Tower, but feel harmonious right now, you know? Like, oh, you might be not having everything that you want given to you financially at the moment, but, you know, try to recuperate and give yourself like the airs of the Queen of Pentacles energy. But I think what it is sometimes we forget who we are when we go through something tough. And I definitely can see some more financial difficulties that might be here. I'm also seeing some relationship bumps, definitely, that could be popping here. So we'll talk both sides of it for those who chose number two. But on both cases, the advice is to attract what you want and not chase. So one thing about the Queen of Pentacles is she's like very commanding. She has that Empress quality where, you know, she relates to earth signs, and the earth signs can just like sit in a room and pull, like they physically make you recognize their presence. They don't have to do a lot about it, and they just hold that energy that they have wisdom, and that they have this knowledge and practicality about them. And this is kind of the energy that it might take you to wade through some situations. I can definitely see, hi, I can definitely see where, you know, it can be rocky in relationships, and it could be a little tough financially right now. Some of you are definitely having second thoughts about maybe you put yourself out there for a job, or good morning, or for a raise, or just like, I feel like some of you were like, you know what, let me try like dog walking, or let me try, you know, something like, let me start my own Etsy shop, or whatever it was. And maybe it's overwhelming for you, or, and I definitely do feel some people's health has been some that chose number two has been off. Maybe you went and you had a child or a surgery or something, and so like getting back into the game and getting just physically, you know, present, and getting, you know, feeling like you're I'm even getting feeling like you're deserving. You know, maybe you're taking it very hard, not feeling like you have everything you need security wise and career wise and financially. But also that might be so when it comes to relationships and intimacy. And so it's really getting back to knowing that you are attractive in all meanings of the word. You are attractive to finance. You are attractive to the career that you want and to the relationship that you want. And you have harmony here. So I feel like some people that came to number two, you might be wondering like, you know, is it going to work? Like, kind of, am I deserving a relationship kind of thing? Absolutely. Like, we have harmony here. The Tower's trying to just, you know, clean out whatever wasn't working, whatever. Sometimes we don't understand it until later with the Tower, why we needed like a reshifting. And, you know, and sometimes it is just something that it feels very tragic to us that happened to someone around us that we cared about, and it shakes us up. But here, I think that you're doing well as long as you focus on yourself. That is the correct thing to do, and really getting elevating your health and your decision. So that means even if you're going through financial things, like what makes you feel abundant? Like I feel like even physically, with this is like a very Capricorn card. So like even with, what do you want to spend on yourself to take care of yourself, and also with pleasure, what feels good to you, and getting back to that, I think, is why this tower moment kind of happens and shakes things up, because you're meant to feel that power from within, so that you can feel very attracting. Say her eyes close and she just calls to her what she wants. So I definitely think it's more being in the place of receiving. So be open to those compliments, be open to accepting the pleasures once they come towards you. Be open to not even feeling that you have to overly make excuses for others if others don't understand, why you're not racing out and doing XYZ, because they would do it if they were in your situation. It's not really a time of a lot of va va voom and just like kind of aggressive energy for you. It's more kind of like that Zen Venus energy to just sit back and call things to you, and you decide what you want out of everything that shows up, if that makes sense. All right. So for those of you who chose number 3, we have unlimited ideas. Oh, that's good. The Hermit reversed. Strawberry cream chocolate, which is romance. Okay, there we go. And we have, I can't read it through there, Knave of Wands, so the Page of Wands reversed. Okay, so I feel like some of you might, okay, so for some people that pick number 3, when it comes to relationships, romance, and everything, you have really good vibes for that. You really do. Some of you have been single for a while, so maybe you had a breakup. Maybe you're good at relationships and you had a good streak, but then you got really gun shy. Like that's the biggest feeling that I'm getting, is this kind of gun shy energy. I also feel like you'll have a lot of suitors, but that maybe you're in a time where your tastes are kind of changing in relationships. Maybe you always liked, the wild, never know if you can depend on them type, and now you're switching to a more serious type, or vice versa. So there's a little bit of needing to be patient with yourself, because this is definitely like a new phase in your life, which is pretty cool. And we have unlimited ideas. So I feel like when it comes to relationships, and not just, pleasure is not just relationships for everyone, but just what you want to do to explore being pleased in your life and having a good time. I think it is a good time to like really go out and allow yourself to experiment that. Like I see definitely that you've taken a while and maybe you really needed it to like sit with yourself and like meditate and like isolate and go through all of that, but it doesn't seem like that is what is necessary anymore. But I definitely can see like this hesitancy and a bit of shyness, or maybe you try and then you're like, man, I try and then I try too hard, or I come on too strong, and like, just feeling a little bit rusty, or maybe you've never really got out the gate and had the relationships that you wanted. But the energy is here absolutely to do so, and it is pushing and saying, go ahead, get out there and allow yourself to come on a different level. So for some of you, maybe you were always kind of like, sometimes people are single, I don't know if this makes sense, but sometimes people are single because they are like kind of more mature than their age group. So it's not that you didn't know how relationships work, but actually because you did. So it's like you didn't want to do all the messy stuff. So I see that for some people with number 3, where you just wanted to circumvent that, get right to like this truest relationship, and like that's what brings you pleasure, is this real authentic romance, like no games, that kind of thing. And so I definitely see for number 3, it is moving more into like no more games, like just honesty. This is who I am. I know who I am. I can decide to hang up the single, kind of thing, and go into my relationship. And even if you are in a relationship, just no longer feeling the need to like retreat so much in your relationship, but allowing yourself to kind of admit how much you want your partner around, or that you need them, but in a way where you feel whole and complete in yourself. So I think it's a really good phase. Creatively, this looks really good as far as having a creative aspect in business and in finance. Right now, it's definitely saying that you're going to be coming up with things that you can like have a gold mine with, and really, basically, it's like you don't want your ideas that you're thinking of financially or business wise to be picked up by someone else. So I would definitely hold them kind of close to the vest. Only tell them to people you can trust. You might even want to just kind of secure your ideas that you're having for business before you allow like other people to know about it and share it. And because you don't want someone else who's passionate to Okay, sorry, I think you got interrupted a bit. Yeah, so just secure your ideas, copyright your ideas, and even for your own sake, I can see some sensitivity here. Make sure that if you are like, oh, I'm gonna change jobs or whatever it is that you're like, you know what, I just feel inspired. There's a lot of inspiration. Like, I'm gonna do this. I have all these ideas for my future. Make sure that you don't put them before people who would shoot them down. And I think that it's good that you have this inner resilience with yourself and to kind of stay in that, and it's gonna really lead you correctly at this time. Number 3. All right, so for number 4, we have face your financial fears. We have the Chariot card, head on, almond, chocolate, achievements. Wow, this is like pedal to the metal, 8 of Swords. This is crazy, 8 of Swords reverse, and 8 of Swords actually deals with fears. So this is like literally just like I feel like with this one I'm getting this energy of like people's guides like pushing them, like no excuse, no like reasoning, whatever. It's time for you to be successful. And so I feel like right now, situations in your life, like you might even feel like people are being very tough on you when it comes to both relationships and when it comes to finance and career, because people are going to see so much potential in you. They're just not going to let you off the hook. Like they're just going to kind of pin you to the wall, be like, this is the issue in our relationship. This is like the hang up you had. We could be great. You need to face it. Like get over it. And it might feel like so like aggressive and intense, but it's because you can be so like these are all cards of success, like getting rid of your fear of flying, going straight to the top, being able to balance business and pleasure together actually, and to not have to sacrifice your achievements. So if you've been afraid, number 4 is that you know, man, I don't want to sacrifice my career path or my education or whatever I'm doing right now, or even my finances that I've built up for myself to be in a relationship. This is like being able to have both, right, with the 2 horses there, and being able to like stay the path that you want to do. And this is also financial fears in regards to relationships, I think. Being afraid of whether it's the cost of the wedding or just, somebody taking advantage of your finances. This is all like basically you can slay, you can slay business and pleasure so hard right now, number 4, that you're just going to be getting so like just pushed to the edge by everybody. So I would take that as all constructive criticism. I would not feel like I would not get over. I mean, I'm a Pisces and I'm very sensitive, let me tell you, but I would really like you're in a period where you don't have to take that as any criticism that you're getting back from anybody as like oh, I'm such a bad person, I can't have what I want. No, this is like the universe is like, we're grooming you, you're in the home stretch, you can have exactly what you want in business and pleasure. You need to believe in yourself, and like the clock's ticking in a good way. It's like you're closer than you would ever think if you just get to the grind and do what you need to do to kind of tick the boxes to get where you want to be. So this is really great and really amazing, and just kind of stepping out of your fears both financially and relationship wise. So if you're not quite there yet, I would definitely be waiting for that aha moment and that click. Like just keep doing what you're doing, and whether we work on ourselves, get ready for that abundance, get ready for the openness in your relationships, because this is saying you're going to achieve it and it's going to be successful. There's definitely power couple energy here. There's exploration and some fun, but there's also feeling safe and empowered. So that's an amazing one. So go you, number 4s. Okay, for those of you who chose number 5, we have, oh, Lakshmi on this card, abundance mindset. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have salted caramel flow. It came up reversed. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles. So this one is very much about getting the help and aid that you need. So if you came to this reading, and this is in both. So this is really about some of you are really going to be able to get a partner, or to start having more with your current partner, some reciprocity where you can help and share. I feel like some of you who, even if you've been with your partner for a while, you haven't really discussed finance so much, or maybe you have needs and you're like, okay, I'm kind of dating, I'm kind of doing the business thing, but it's hard to do both. Like I need help, and sometimes relationships just come together that way where you just end up having what the other needs. And I definitely see that for you. So if you've been really kind of struggling and waiting for that partner, like you want a helpmate and you just want lives that kind of fit together, I definitely see that, which is very beautiful. But you have to let it flow a little bit better. So when you get scared and you kind of pump the brakes and you're a little hesitant, it might kind of change up. But sorry, I'm like sitting on the floor, my legs falling asleep. Um, but as you kind of just like let it go and you stay in that mindset, like we're both going to be okay, like whatever one doesn't have, the other person has, it's going to be really great. I also see for those of you who've been kind of wondering about business and career paths and like financial income, I definitely see more than one option when it comes to career for you that might sustain kind of paralleling each other for a while and really kind of feed into each other. So sometimes people have, even if they seem completely unrelated, like they have, they sell purses, but that money goes into their gym, but then ladies from their gym go and buy their purses, or like I'm seeing kind of a correlation in things that might be different, and you might feel like, man, I have to choose one and I'm kind of juggling them. But I think you can actually like do really good at having like tandem two careers or two jobs or two income sources. And I definitely do see the help that you need, whether that is a mentor or if you've been waiting for like a financial investment for someone from your business or your company, whatever that is, some kind of grant or something of that nature. This is definitely, if you chose number 5, I would say go for it. I would definitely go for any financial talks with your business or your partner that you need at this time, because it looks really good and I think you can get it to come out in your favor. And I feel like you'll be able to juggle things and it'll come out evenly. And not only that, but you're even moving into new phases of more and more abundance. So keep working. If you're working on that root chakra, if you've been talking to Lakshmi or whoever it is, if you've been going and reaching out to people that they have what you need and you have what they need, or however it works out, that's good. And I don't think it's a time that you have to fear helping others financially. It's just like make sure that you do what you're able to do. And actually that's very good. So for some of you, if you've been having some financial struggles and your fist is getting a little tight and you're really starting to go into fear, for number 5, I would give the advice to actually, donate or give back in some way, and it's going to open up your fist basically, and it's going to let it come back in, and that it's just something that's going on for you right now. So allow that flow to be there. All right, looking good. Like we stand partners who can help each other out, right? And have balance both ways. Okay, and for those of you who chose number 6, remember to like, share, subscribe. Let go of guilt. Financial guilt. The Empress. Okay. We have chocolate chip cookie reverse, which is manifestation. And we have the Strength card reversed. So this is completely, when it comes to those who chose number 6, you definitely have like big juju, right? Big energy when it comes to business, when it comes to pleasure. Like you can do both. That's the Empress. Bam, boom, done. But here we have some internal things. We have some confidence. We have a lack of maybe sometimes believing in your manifestation. What I'm really getting is where you can interrupt this, see this infinity symbol in her head, and we have it reversed. So you have that down in your root chakra, where it's like if you talk, the universe is like, okay, they said they're gonna have a farm, give them a farm. But then you might be like, oh shoot, but you know what, I didn't I shouldn't have left the family so young to make my own way. That was selfish. And so I have this guilt trip, and now I don't think I'm deserving of it. And then your abundance is that the universe is like, oh wait, no, they don't want it. Like they feel guilty. Never mind. Like take it back. And so it's kind of like this push and pull that can happen. For some of you, it could literally be with mother issues. It could be with things that have happened with your child or in childhood, or wherever it comes from. There is could be with a predominant partner or the mother of your children. But for somewhere along the lines, there's this idea, and it could just be the idea that life shouldn't be too easy for you. A lot of this kind of programming, right, in this capitalist world that we live in, that we have to work so hard, right? We have to be like exhausted, our bodies have to be run down. So you might even look at that. You might have guilt with thinking of living an easy life, of living a life of abundance and beauty and, just decadence and enjoyment. And there's something but I see that you want to come out of that with the Strength card reverse. And this also really ties into your sexual life. So some of you might be actually really good at like, even straight gold digging if you want to, but really good at pulling in partners who are very powerful, who are very attractive, who have a lot of finance to them, or having those opportunities, but still in some way either losing that connection or just not feeling fulfilled in it. And I see like this cycle back and forth. with a lot of the people who chose number 6, of trying to master that, like knowing on one hand like that you want to feel good about yourself, you want to feel like you have this like healthy sexual life, you want to feel that you are doted on and have these like pleasures and abundance and all these kind of things, but then there's like this cycle where it like disappears, and then it's kind of just so hot and cold, and then you're like, what's going on? Did someone hex me? Like, what is going on? And I really feel like it's just a little bit more internal work, which it's not always fun to hear. But here it's like you deserve to have that big confidence, but it's coming to a bit of self forgiveness. And that's what these cards here are really saying, and really allowing yourself to know that at some point that's the only way we move forward, and incarnations and society and life is to be able to at some point make amends, forgive ourselves from the past, let go of whether it's being more successful than those that we love, whether it's not feeling like we deserve it because of things that happened in the past, and just really allowing the full self-love of the Empress. And the Empress gives back, so that's not saying that you can't that you're going to be a horrible person. And I think that might be something at a very deep level for number 6 to sit with, that if you have the pleasure that you want in your body, in your life, if you have the enjoyable, like just like luxe life that you want, if you have the success in business, it doesn't mean you have to become a horrible person or a tyrant or anything like that. You guys have massive just massive power when it comes to both of those worlds, and the ability to just kind of meld those and have a very kind of delicious life. So if we get the manifestation on track and get the last of that confidence and kind of dealing with those internal things, I feel like there's nothing left but like bliss to happen. So I really support you guys and hope that you're able to get that easy living although behind the scenes we know that you've worked very hard for it, and that love and self-confidence that you're really working for, that you really want to have, and that if everyone had that, like, you're healing the world, so there's no reason to feel guilty for feeling good about yourself. All right, and for everybody who tuned in to the business or pleasure reading, we have the subconscious cards of the deck. Ask for your needs to be met. All right, let's see what else we have. We have the Five of Swords. We have peanuts reversed, so chocolate coated peanuts, which is trust reversed, and we have judgment reversed. So the biggest thing for everyone to hear that tuned into this reading, whichever option 1 through 6 that you chose, is to at some point, it's kind of a head game when it comes to what we allow ourselves to find us pleasure, what we allow ourselves to be successful in business wise, who we listen to, if we believe people when the doors are shut. And I can definitely see, like I said, some people being gun shy, and things feeling very final because we have, some trust issues and a little bit of being afraid to really ask for what you want. But here it's kind of like, one, like, you don't want to waste this incarnation not getting where you want to be, right? So the judgment card for me is very much like an incarnation card. So it's like, this lifetime you gotta, right, you gotta kind of have a YOLO attitude, even if you do believe in reincarnation. So whatever your beliefs on that, it's kind of like really facing up to, you know what, let me change my mindset on this. Like, I want to be successful, I don't have to feel guilty, I want to have a stable life, I want to have this juicy life juicy love life, and trusting yourself, finding others who are trustworthy around. But it starts with really asking for what you want, and I do see that it is a bit of a weeding out process, but that's why you have to speak up, because sometimes we can be with someone forever and we find out way too late that we're never going to get what we want or what we need from that person. And the same thing with a career, really knowing what we're doing in our career, what if our plan and ideals are matching up with the person we're working with. So I do see, right, it's very important for everyone who watches this to really come to a point of communication. If you don't feel like it's worth communicating with, and that's kind of your cue that you're really not into that relationship or that career as much. And if you care so much that you're terrified of the answer, that means that you really deserve to know, because you don't want to overly invest, so that you can regain your sense of trust, that trust in self, that whatever the answer is, like you still have your silver linings, you still have your open paths to what business and pleasure you need for in life, because this is telling you to ask for your needs to get met so you can get closer to who can meet those needs for you and live your best life basically without judgment, free from, the crippling, kind of judgment that does us no good. So definitely try to be a bit more understanding with yourself, try to be a bit more encouraging of yourself, and I hope everyone has some good business and pleasure out there. Please let me know if you like this reading. Some of my readings I will, bring back and we'll revisit them. So some of them that I've already done in the past we'll touch on again and check in and see how we're doing now on a new video of it. So let me know how you liked it, and I will talk to you again soon.